Andrew McCART, IFL TV, in association with MTK Global. I've got to say I'm delighted to be joined by the one and only Josh Warrington. Josh, first and foremost, how are you? How's the elbow?
I'm okay, I'm alright. Elbow's doing not too bad, recovering. 12 days or so from surgery. Jaw's a little bit more or less better now. Other injuries I've sustained during that fight have more or less recovered. It's more a mental thing now, mentally and in there as well. But that seems to be getting better day by day. For about 3 weeks after the fight, I didn't really think about it because I had physical injuries to recover from, and they're a distraction. But then once they start to recover, it does become a mental thing, and like being undefeated was something that I was proud of. Scared of the L, scared of the loss. It's one thing what drove me on. Keep on training hard. Like 11 years into my career, so many title fights and shows headlined, and it's something what's always drove me, and I feared it. And I think I've taken it a lot better than I expected. It's just on an odd night, and I sit in bed and I think, fucking hell. But it's happened, and it's how I've come back from it now. So, just watching Maxi tonight, I'm absolutely buzzing to get back in the gym. But yeah, I can't wait to have my own little redemption.
Well, I want to talk about you because Eddie Hearn did say about rematch and stuff like that in the Joshua phone call. I do want to talk about that, but Maxi's night tonight, your gym mate Maxi Hughes, we call him the lockdown Lomachenko. 3 fights in lockdown, 3 solid, brilliant wins against John O'Carroll, Korochkov, and now Paul Highland Jr. How proud of you of what this man? You said to me he almost retired 15 months ago, and we're all glad he didn't.
I'm about to put an Instagram post out about it. I remember driving back after the boxed Liam Walsh, and there were me, my dad, Reece Mould, and himself in the car. And he was saying, I think this is it, lads. I think this is the end of the road. I just wanted to win a British title, but I think this is it. And this is a fella who turned pro in 2010, and since that has boxed the likes of Scotty Cardell, who won a British title, Martin J. Ward, who won a British title, Liam Walsh, who won a British title, and he fought short, but he's always had the talent.
John O'Carroll's fought for a world title.
John O'Carroll, exactly. John O'Carroll, of course, but all these names have superseded what he's done. But this is, if anyone needs an inspiration and they're thinking the career's done and they're not going to make it, just look at him, because he's got a new lease of life, and man, after 3 fights his career has not only rejuvenated itself, it's beyond that. He's a talk of lockdown boxing. So absolutely fantastic, and listen, I'm inspired. I look over at him, he's stood over there doing an interview now, he's got an all around him, so yeah, I'm chuffed to bits for him.
That's an interesting thing you said, that people that think their career's over, rejuvenated losses and stuff like that. It's sort of like yourself. Like you suffered. You mentioned that you were scared of that L and stuff like that. But look at this young man here. Well, he's not a young man. He's probably in his 30s. He's probably. But look what he's done. He's suffered them L's and he's come back and fulfilled his dream. Now your dream is still unified world champion, undisputed world champion. That hasn't gone, has it?
No, not all. And I think the fear is because it was an unknown for me, and people take it differently. People's fans react to it differently. I mean, everyone's heard the stories about how when you've had a win, everyone's there to celebrate with you, and when you've had a loss, there's hardly anybody there. I think everyone's heard the famous one where, I forgot who said it, I think Sergio Martinez said there were like 3 people rang him, and 2 of them were off his mum. I think everyone thinks like it's going to be over, and then social media can do a lot of harm as well. You've took an L, you've been beat, and especially when it's a fight that I meant to win. People saying, he can't make the weight no more, maybe he's underperforming. I don't know, but just had enough night. It's sport, you know what I mean? In 11 years, 30 fights, I've got it right every single time on that night, and the last one I didn't. It's just happened. Do I think that I'm not going to achieve them goals anymore? Bollocks! I'm still going to achieve them. Listen, before getting beat, I thought I would unbeatable. I thought I could go to 35, 36, 37, and I was going to be fucking unbeaten. It's happened, but I still think that I'll win that Ring Magazine belt. I still think I'm going to be world champion again. But just because I've had a little slip up, don't mean it's over. If anything, it's rejuvenated myself and made myself more hungry. So, yeah, man. Listen, by the time you come back to look look over the career and say it was just a little blip. And it's how you bounce back that makes a man.
Definitely. We talked about that Anthony Joshua phone call. We all seen that Joshua was the heavyweight, the boxing man. He was number one. You thought about boxing, you thought about Anthony Joshua. Now he had that slip up against the Mexican fighter and Andy Ruiz. He got stopped as well. Now he gave you a very important phone call, and for most people, getting a phone call from Anthony Joshua means a lot. What did that mean to you when you got that phone call from somebody like him?
Yeah, massive, really. It's funny because I wanted to speak to Anthony. And I said to Eddie, I said, listen, if you get AJ to give us 5 minutes, and he actually rang me up. And the reason for that is, like, I turned pro before AJ, but he's heavyweight champion of the world, and he's like, I've got a decent profile, but this guy's off the scale, do you know what I mean? It's like, there's levels to it then, and like, that comes with a pressure. Wherever he goes around the world, it comes with a pressure, and it's how we deal with that. And I know that Anthony's a bit of a deep thinker. He puts a lot of things up on his social media when he's watching videos of learning, reading books, and so, etc., etc. And I'd like to think myself, as a bit of a deep thinker. I read a lot of books. I read a lot of sporting biographies. Anytime I go to venues where I see other sporting personalities, I ask questions. I want to know what it takes to have a winning mindset, and obviously after failure as well, after setbacks. And obviously no one expected AJ to get beat by Andy Ruiz. It was a massive worldwide shock, and I wanted to know how he bounced back from that. How did he recover? What was his mindset like? How did he deal with being upset? What were the frustrations like? And he just said to me, listen, once you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. He says, allow yourself to dwell, allow yourself to sulk, allow yourself to be down, pig out on the junk food, just have a little mope about it, have a little cry about it. But then once that's done, it's done. Because again, the only way is up, and you can only go up. If you still want it, the only way is up. He said, listen, I had my little time when I had to mope about. He said, he told me a little story. We were walking around New York, and someone was shouting, it's like, hey, why did you get beat by that fucking fat Mexican? He was like, turned around, like, he was with an entourage. He was like, he had to just get out there and lock himself in his flat, in his apartment. But, all of us, we're all human. We're in limelight, we're on TV. We're all human, and we've got to deal with this. But, after that phone call, I was shadowboxing and up and round to go. So I massively appreciate that he took the time out to give us, some time on the phone.
Obviously, Maxi is here. I want to ask one thing though. You're jumping straight into the rematch. Eddie Hearn said it's going to look like it's the first week in September. Now, you want this fight more than anything. Now, you know what Mauricio Lara brings to the table. Nothing but a win for you in this rematch.
Nothing but a win, and a classy win. No matter if I stop him or just beat him convincingly on points, it doesn't matter. But it has to be a lot better. It has to be, the Josh Warrington we've seen in throughout my career, against the likes of Martin Lindsay, Renaud Monroe, Joe Brunkner, Amagasa, Martinez, fucking Lee Selby, Carl Frampton. Got to be them kind of performances. I can't just go in there like. I'm always thought it would have given. Maybe I got to, because I was in that bubble. I had a lift with my face on it. Maybe I got carried away with the hype. I don't know. I maybe know a few things what have added to that. But listen, I need to come back against that guy Lara, get the win, and carry on with my career. Like I say, I still believe I can be world champion, but I've just got to rewrite that wrong for my own head and my own career, and then sweep that under the carpet and just carry on where we left off. Yeah.
Right, Josh, I do appreciate your time as always. I know you're here with your lovely wife and stuff like that, and I've got to grab the man of the moment, Maxi Hughes, the British lightweight world champion, British lightweight champion, maybe world champion.
World champion. He'll feel like a world champion having that belt over his shoulder.
Josh, hopefully this fight's in Leeds, the rematch. Fingers crossed I get to cover it, because I always love covering a Josh Warrington fight night. So fingers crossed I get to cover it. Obviously, hope the injuries heal well, and stay safe, my man.
Top man. Thanks for your time, Andy.
Thank you very much, Josh. Thank you, brother.